Welcome back to the Now Morning Show. And as Rocker said, we spoke with Javon a few weeks ago, and he's back with us to speak about his experience at the freediving competition that took place in April. Good morning, Javon, and welcome back.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
It's a pleasure to have you with us on the show this morning. What was your experience like at the diving competition last month, rather?
Well, I would say it was definitely, I didn't expect anything. So everything that I expected to happen did not happen. It was nerve-wracking at first. The first night of the competition, we had to register, and that's where we got to meet the other athletes and the judges and the safety teams. There were very strict, very, very strict rules for the competition. A lot of do's and don'ts that I weren't aware of. They had to examine our equipment and tag it, so we can't use anything else outside of the equipment that we brought for the judges to inspect. The doctors were also pretty strict on certain protocols, and before the competition starts, you had to get medically examined to make sure everything is all right. And even after the competition, they had to examine you to make sure you don't have any injuries. Day one was fine. I woke up, and it was a depth that I could already do because I did it in training multiple times. So I thought it wouldn't be stressful until it was my turn to actually go on the line and do my dive. Yeah, it's like you're holding on to the line, you're going to do the same dive you're accustomed doing all the time, but the added pressure of everybody staring at you, there's a countdown now, so you have limited time to relax, and everything is being recorded. I nailed that dive, and that was constant weight bifins, 51 meters below. And I nailed every single dive after that because I started to get the confidence to dive. And my deepest dive was 54 meters with bifins at the competition.
Javon?
Yeah.
Okay,
Sorry
I'm just
about
making sure that you were
Yeah.
still here with us. So
Yeah.
you mentioned going in that it was nerve-wracking, and you just gave us your experience of what it was like having the pressures of these different elements being thrown into the mix for freediving particularly.
Mm-hmm.
Would you say that this had an impact on your performance? I mean, we know that you nailed it, so congratulations. But do you think perhaps that if you hadn't been under some of those additional elements, you would have seen something different?
Not really, because I was feeling nervous before the actual dive, but the moment I actually started diving, nervousness and the fear just disappeared. Because that's what we have a thing called the breathe up, where you do like relaxation breathing. So even if you're nervous, once you breathe up and properly try to relax, the nerves will just go. Like, it doesn't matter how afraid you are, what your mental state is at the time. Once you do your breathe up properly and the same way that you've been doing it in training, when it's time to dive, your heart rate will lower, your mind would be focused on the task, and everything will just go smoothly. But just before you actually do it, that's when the nerves come in.
Your mind is a powerful thing, Javon. That is for sure. So you mentioned the days and what you've been going through. Let's talk about your results and your times for each day, because we would love to hear how long you were able to hold your breath for.
Yeah. Well, on day one, first national record, constant with bifins. That was 51 meters below, and the dive time for that was 2 minutes and 3 seconds. Let's see. Other times, most of the times, off the top of my head, I can remember I was like 2 minutes, 2 minutes 10, 2 minutes 20 for most of the disciplines. My free immersion time was 2 minutes 5 seconds, 51 meters. And my deepest dive with 54 meters by Finns was actually the lowest time out of most of them, which was 2 minutes and 10 seconds. So on
Some good-
average, let's say 2 minutes.
On average, you took 2 minutes. That's some great times. That is for sure. So now that you've crossed this and you've achieved this, what is your future goal, Javon?
All right. So the future goal is to start an association, which is right now, it seems like the most impossible task. I actually went into the Ministry of Sports and Youth Affairs yesterday to try to get a club going, but it doesn't even have a governing body for freediving in Trinidad and Tobago. So they're waiting on advice on what I should do. But other than that, I have another competition coming up in July. But this time I'll be carrying another athlete who's from Trinidad named Saif. So we could both represent the country. And this competition will be a lot bigger because this will be like, let's compare it to the FIFA freediving. A lot of world champions will be coming out for this competition in July. And it'll be a very good opportunity to make some good connections in the freediving world.
Wonderful to hear that you have such a great opportunity ahead of you, and not just you, Saeed, as well, and all of those who are involved in free diving. Javon, thank you so much for joining us. Hoping that you have an excellent day and all the best for your event in July.
Thank you so much.
Javon Ballington, freediving athlete and instructor, sharing his experience at the IDA freediving competition and what's happening in the future, particularly with the association. Interesting to see how long he can hold his breath for. I think that's one of the main things I'm honestly focused on because it fascinates me that people can hold their breath for so long, but the power of your mind and your body as well.
Yeah, and your body can adjust, as we say, I mean, in circumstances where it's necessary. And it just goes to show you how powerful, I mean, we don't even use it to full capacity. I remember the first time he came and he was saying, you know, some people actually their fingers get a little bit more webbed and their feet get a little bit more webbed just based on how often they're doing it. It's not like they go for surgery to make it happen or anything like that. It's just the body evolves naturally. Amazing.
I'm happy to hear that he's looking at the longevity and the life of the sport itself. Speaking to ministry reps already and making sure that we have proper representation and support for other persons who may become interested, because I'm sure there's somebody out there like, ooh, I didn't know that is a thing that I could make into a career or a sport. And so he's taking some beautiful steps towards not just him being sustained in the industry, but other persons making a way for them as well.
And the thing is that there's already a little community, and I know that the spearfishing community also free dives as well.
Right.
So, you know, it's nice to be able to say, well, all right, let's get an association together so we can have proper representation and hopefully some nice funding to go to too.
Something that's so important. Stay tuned. Right after this break, we're going across to the ICC T20 World Cup.
All deep sea divers, it's time to splash.